What's going on, everyone? So the Sacramento Kings played their first preseason game against the Golden State Warriors in a loss. But this preseason, the wins and losses aren't really that significant. Towards the fourth quarter and late in the game, teams usually just start loading in their bench guys, start going incredibly deep, start playing the guys that you're never going to see on the basketball court in an actual NBA game, even guys that aren't even going to be on the roster once we get closer to the NBA season. But one of the real standouts for Sacramento was their new acquisition in Demar Derozan, who gave you 15 points on a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. He was 1-1 from 3, 2-2 from the foul line, even had a block, only one turnover, and was a +8 in his game. And he did it in 15 minutes of action. Again, preseason, guys only running, 15, maybe 20 minutes in some cases. But you got what you wanted to see from DeMar DeRozan, right? His ability to kind of get to his spots on the floor, elevate, knock down. He's just going to be a consistent offensive weapon for the Sacramento Kings. But I really have my concerns with Sacramento. I really have my concerns with DeMar DeRozan. And I still think DeMar DeRozan is completely redundant for this team. DeMar DeRozan was, again, fantastic in this game. 15 points, 15 minutes, 6-6 from the field. Can't ask for better than that. But it's not what Sacramento needed. You even saw in this game with the Warriors. And look, I get it's the first preseason game. It's just preseason. But still, the lack of perimeter defense is concerning. The lack of perimeter defense is going to be an issue. And I don't think that the Sacramento Kings have the real size necessary to match up against some of these other teams. Don't think that they have the perimeter defense and defense, period. Ellis is a solid defensive player. De'Aaron Fox, he can be a good defensive player when he's not asked to handle all of the offensive responsibilities. And I understand having a guy in DeMar DeRozan kind of come in and fill that role, fill that gap. He's somebody that can kind of take some pressure off of De'Aaron Fox and allow De'Aaron Fox to be able to play better on the defense side. But Keegan Murray isn't this lockdown defensive guy. Sabonis isn't this super lockdown defensive center. Obviously, are they going to have Keon Ellis closing games for them? So does that mean Malik Monk is not going to be in games at the end down the stretch? Because if he is, well, then now you're even worse defensively. And I don't see how this really works. Offensively, they're probably going to be tough. But even then, I don't know how tough Sacramento is going to be with DeMar DeRozan. Sacramento every year, or at least the last few years, have been up near the top as far as pace goes. They're usually top 3 to 5 in pace. They're usually top 3 to 5 in three-point attempts. And you got a guy who, if you look at every team he's ever been on, is usually towards the bottom as far as pace goes and doesn't shoot threes. So you're talking about a guy that is the complete polar opposite of what Sacramento likes to play and how they like to run their offense. Now, DeMar will definitely help more in the half court, where Sacramento does struggle at times, unless it's just, a heavy dose of De'Aaron Fox. DeMar DeRozan will kind of give him that other piece. There are pros to DeMar DeRozan, without a doubt. But I just think that there are more cons now, and I don't think Sacramento needed that. Right? I think Sacramento was a very good team, and, they're a team that needed 2, maybe 3 just 3-and-D guys, or one high-end 3. And if they could have gotten a Mikal Bridges or an OG, something like that, I think that would have went a long way. They need that 3-and-D guy. They needed to upgrade Harrison Barnes and give you another kind of two-way defensive wing, right? So that way they're better out on the perimeter. De'Aaron Fox still do De'Aaron Fox things. Malik Monk can still do Malik Monk things. But you have guys that can put the ball on the deck, that can score, that can shoot, and defend at a high level. I think all of a sudden you look at it and it's okay, well, now Sacramento might be able to be that team that can be contending for an NBA championship, right? But it's just, they went the complete opposite route. It was hey, let's load up on firepower I mean, it's literally how they phrased it, that they wanted to have the firepower to keep up in the Western Conference. But they had the firepower. They're one of the highest scoring teams in the league every year. Or again, the last few years at least. So you're talking about a team that, even with the Celtics and the Nuggets and these, just high-end caliber teams, Sacramento's up there in the scoring department. The problem is they can't stop anybody. And they don't have the right balance. And I just think you look at Sacramento and it's like they're leaning fully and embracing fully the offense. But their offensive pieces don't have like this great size. Right? Like DeMar DeRozan, at the 4? Right? Like, is that what you're doing? Or you're having him at the 3 with Keegan Murray? And then going, Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox to close games? Like, the regular season, they might be able to get away with it. But come playoff time, they're getting ran through. Come playoff time, if they play one of the real teams at the top, they're getting ran through. Because they're not going to be able to stop anybody. And you look at teams like the Thunder. Right? Because I don't see Sacramento being a top 3 to 4 seed. I don't, and so if say they come in and they're the 8th seed and they run into Denver in the first round, Denver's probably sweeping them, if not maybe 5, right? Or the Thunder. I think the Thunder have their perimeter defenders that can make De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, guys like that work. And I just think, if they play them, they probably get swept by the Thunder, especially the Thunder, right? Like, I think the Thunder really run through them, right? Because the Sacramento Kings aren't going to be able to get stops, but the Thunder will, because they have the defensive pieces. They have the defensive versatility. I don't look at Sacramento and think like, oh man, DeMar DeRozan, that was the missing piece. You add DeMar DeRozan to this group, that's enough to put him over the top, right? Like, and it's not DeMar DeRozan. Like, I think DeMar DeRozan has value on the right team in the right situation. I think the best probably place for him to go was Miami, right? With Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Because I think DeMar DeRozan would have been able to just play his game, and it's something that Miami truly needed. And I think that they had the pieces that complemented DeMar DeRozan and the things that he struggles with. And they're a team that I think would have been able to really maximize DeMar DeRozan in his game. I think DeMar DeRozan to Miami was probably the best destination he could have went to. And then I liked him even on the Lakers, right? But even with the Lakers, I addressed and talked about a lot of concerns that I had with DeMar DeRozan, right? Which again was his lack of three-point shooting, his fit alongside LeBron, because he is a guy that needs the ball in his hands, right? But the Lakers they don't have a guy like DeMar DeRozan, right? They don't have that just bucket getter, that guy that you can just give the ball to, he can get to his spots at will and just knock it down, right? Like, the Lakers needed somebody like that. The Kings didn't. De'Aaron Fox every year is in the top, 3 to 5 fourth quarter performers in the league. They have Malik Monk. They have De'Aaron Fox. You have your 2 guys that can go and just generate the offense for you, that can hit the big shots down the stretch, that are comfortable in those positions, that aren't afraid of the moment, right? You got those pieces. And then now you're bringing in DeMar DeRozan I just feel like it's a redundancy at that point. I feel like you have 3 guys that are kind of doing the same thing. Look at the Phoenix Suns last year. Sacramento is a worse Phoenix team. And Phoenix got swept in the first round and was bad. Right? They were not what the expectations were. You have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. You have DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, and Malik Monk. Now, obviously, again, those 3 guys aren't in the stratosphere of Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is the best guy on this team, but it's a similar version, even like Sabonis and Nurk, right? Like, you look at those 3, and Phoenix struggled and were one of the worst fourth quarter teams in the league. Why? Because they have 3 guys that are a redundancy. They have 3 guys that are all used to being the guy, that have similar skill sets, play a similar type of game, just at different scales and different sizes. Neither of them are really good enough to slot over and play other positions, right? Like, it becomes a problem. And I just think you're going to have a lot of the same issues in Sacramento. I think you're going to have Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, and Demar Derozan out there on the basketball court at times. And when it matters, right, because people say, well, Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, they share the basketball and they play, yeah, until the fourth quarter. And then you see them in the fourth quarter, and then it's heavy ISO. And, De'Aaron Fox is scoring 20 of their, 24 fourth quarter points. Right? Like, that's their game. Yeah, they share and move the basketball and, play team game until the fourth quarter comes. And then it's like, here you go, De'Aaron Fox. Well, now you're going to have DeMar DeRozan. And you still have Malik Monk. So you're going to have this. Are you going to be able to balance that out? I don't know. Maybe they figure it out. Maybe it looks great. I don't know. I just don't believe it. I think you looked at that Warriors game. Warriors shot 54% from 3 and made 28 of them. Sacramento couldn't defend out on the perimeter. Now, a lot of that, I think, was just, Warriors like Buddy Hield and guys like that shooting the lights out. But still, it's like, I think that's going to be a persistent problem. If you had a time machine and you went and said, like, hey, Sacramento, they finished the 6th seed. Okay, I could maybe buy that. If you also came back in that time machine and you said, oh, hey, Sacramento didn't even make the play-in, I could buy that too, honestly. Like, Sacramento, I wouldn't even be shocked if they missed the play-in entirely. Or, at best, they're a play-in team, right? Like, I don't have any faith in Sacramento. And I've been spot on Sacramento the last 2 years. Made a video 2 years ago talking about my dark horse and the team that I thought was going to really show improvement. And I did a whole video diving into Sacramento and said that this is a team that's going to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And people thought I was crazy, and they were. And then last year, I said that they were going to regress, that they didn't make the adjustments and improvements that they needed to make, and they were going to be, a play-in team, and they were. And now I'm telling you that this team, I believe, got worse. I don't think that they got better. I think that they got worse. We'll see. Time will tell, but I think they're a play-in team. Best case, first-round exit. But however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So if you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.